What's up, everyone? This is Jamar from JeffRock35, and if you haven't noticed, yes, I'm using a different camera. I'm not using my phone camera, mostly because of, one moment. Mostly because of this entire situation right here. Yeah, so we're gonna stick to using my new Canon EOS 70, I believe I want to say. Yeah, 70D. So, yep, this is going to be my new camera. And I'll probably use this a lot for my reviews, recording, and such. But for the time being, this is just a little test out. If you like this, please thumbs up, subscribe, and enjoy the review of Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Have a good time, everyone. When you think about a movie based on a video game, what do you honestly think about it? That it's going to be like the original source material, that they're grabbing lores from the video game series itself to make it into a movie, or basically follow up to what the video games are like. Well, if you think of either of those three things, you are kind of right and kind of wrong.
Similar to how movies based off of comic books are, it's kind of a hidden gem at this point. Some that are good, some that are okay, some that is bad that is good, and then there's the Super Mario Odyssey. Okay, I know it was from the 1990s, and I know they didn't have a lot of technology back then, but how is this similar to this? That just doesn't make any sense to me. That wasn't until Detective Pikachu came around. And to be honest, I'm not really a huge fan of Pokemon. So I did see the movie, or I would probably never see the movie. But from what I've heard, it was actually pretty good. So I got to give props for the crew to work on that movie. But then comes with another movie. Another movie that even surpasses Detective Pikachu itself. Sonic the Hedgehog. How did it become a #1 box office hit? How did it surpass Detective Pikachu? How did it even surpass all the films that has been released thus far on February? Well, to understand that, we have to go way back. And I mean way back around the 1990s. Yeah, apparently Sonic was actually planned to have a film around that time. But they didn't exactly hit the mark. There were some ideas that were good in the past around the 1990s, but didn't exactly hit the film because, let's just say, they didn't have the technology back then. And there were some ideas that were just scrapped all together, and then there's Ken Penders.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about him.
It wasn't until around 2013 where Sony Pictures acquired the film rights to make a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Around 2014, they began to work on it. But they were having a turnabout with the movie itself. So instead of just giving a lot of effort to the movie, they decided to sell the film rights to another Paramount Pictures. Thankfully, most of the people that were working on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie when Sony got the rights, including Monster Animation Planet, were also put into helping Paramount to make a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So, there's a little bit of hope. That is until around 2019.
My expectation was unsurprised. Whew, that image is going to give me nightmares for weeks.
Now, normally, whenever a person made a mistake in a Hollywood movie film, they either ignore the criticism and work with what they got, try to tweak it a little bit better, or basically just throw fans or the people that make negative comments underneath the bus. Surprisingly though, Paramount did the exact opposite. Instead, Jeff Fowler, the main director to the Sonic the Hedgehog film, tweeted to everyone that they heed the feedback and decided, you know what, we're gonna go back, fix Sonic's design from the ground up to make it even better. And instead of just making crunch time with the film's release, originally around November 8th, they decided to delay the film around February 14th, Valentine's Day. Honestly, I would probably release it around February 2nd, since Groundhog Day, Hedgehog Day, but I digress. When the second trailer was released, everyone, including myself, were very happy of how Sonic looks. But I still kept my expectations a little bit low. I mean, Sonic looks better, the film feels better, but it just kind of felt a little bit generic. But when the film was released and my mom decided to take me to see the movie itself, I honestly have a blast watching it. I'm not kidding, I really like this film. I'm not saying it's the best film, but it's really good. The movie opens up with Sonic the Hedgehog, played by Ben Schwartz, who was having the best time of his life but was forced into hiding due to he has some sort of power inside of him that anybody could use for good or evil, which also causes him to be extremely lonely. One day he decided to play baseball all by himself, and realizing that he's going to be alone for his entire life, tries to hide all his feelings by going so fast he accidentally caused an EMP field by the Pacific Northwest, thus causing the government to get involved, sending in their best man, none other than Dr. Ivo Robotnik himself, to hunt down this creature. And by this creature, I mean Sonic. Not want to get captured, Sonic tried to escape but bumps into Tom Witkowski, played by James Marsden, a sheriff of Green Hills, Montana. Wow, subtle. And like any other person, and judging by the first trailer, he got shot by a tranquilizer dart. On the run, the two must work together to recover his lost rings that fell through the portal to San Francisco, so that Sonic can get on out of there and go to another world. Yeah, the story is simple and doesn't bring anything new to the table, but honestly, I'm okay with it. This is an origin story of Sonic's journey, and to be honest, I didn't mind it one bit. In truth, I was more afraid that they would focus more on Tom or Jim Carrey, Eggman, like how Paramount did with the Transformers or TMNT. I really like how Ben Schwartz take on the character. He's basically like his video game counterpart, cool with an attitude and goes by amazingly fast. What they added into the character though is, well, he's a little bit immature due to, well, growing up all by himself. And, well, again, his loneliness. He was grown up all alone on his own. And when you're thinking about Sonic in the video games, you're thinking about the guy that is cool with an attitude. You don't think about a quirky guy trying to fit in. That is video game Sonic. This movie Sonic, well, he's a little bit quirky. He's trying to fit into the world. He's also extremely lonely.
I love Ben Schwartz's take on Sonic. In fact, if we can't have Roger Craig Smith as Sonic anymore, I wouldn't mind having Ben as the next voice actor for Sonic. That is if we can't have the other actors like Ryan Drummond or Jason Griffith.
The only person I was a little bit worried about is Jim Carrey playing as Eggman. I didn't know if he was a perfect fit for Eggman from the very first start. I mean, I've seen his own movies with The Grinch, The Mask, Bruce Almighty, so I didn't exactly know if he is a perfect fit. But surprisingly, he does a very excellent job. When you think of Eggman, you think of him being mechanically evil or just a goofball with an IQ of 300. And he balanced it both ways. From the very start, he's kind of like a big, egotistical jerk. Which actually fits for Eggman, but as you continue on with the film, he becomes a little bit crazy, obsessive of trying to capture Sonic and acquiring his energy. And at the very end, when he becomes Eggman, that's magnificent. And despite him not being Eggman shaped, Sonic actually has a reason to call him Eggman, because his robots are egg shaped.
Brilliant!
Yes, he isn't exactly like Eggman, and he doesn't have his badniks yet, but he does bring his unique twist to, well, Eggman himself, just like how Will Smith did with Genie and Aladdin. James Marsden does an okay job. He bounces off Sonic's quirky attitude, and in truth, he's playing like a likable guy. Not to mention he has a lot of practice for this gig when it comes with this film like Enchanted or Hop or the X-Men film, so
He has some sort of plot and input that he wants to leave Green Hill Zone because there weren't a lot of action, and he feels like he wants to take up a notch and try to be in a more serious situation, and I respect that. I feel like they could have worked his character a little bit, but other than that, he's okay.
Then there is Maddie, played by Tika Sumpter. While she doesn't have anything built off from it, I think she does an okay job. She doesn't appear much in the film, only from the beginning and the end, and that's basically about it. I really wish they could have shown more from her. I think she is a pretty good actress, and I hope in the sequel we get to see that. My main side character is actually Agent Stone, played by me. Sorry if I mispronounced the last name, Butch Daub. Despite not building anything much, he actually is a really cool character, an interesting character to interact with, well, Dr. Ivo Robotnik Eggman. I mean, he's basically like as if he was a Snively, except I guess you could say a little bit different. He's not exactly evil, he's just a guy doing his job. And it has to work with Eggman's egotistical / jerky attitude to him.
Kind of think of it, there aren't a lot of characters that are well fleshed out.
Like Rachel, played by Natasha Rothwell, is a character that didn't exactly like Tom from the very start. I don't know why. She didn't have a reason. Maybe movies to San Francisco give her bad vibes, or they have bad chemistry in the past, but we don't know for sure. Then there is JoJo, played by Melody Neiman. I honestly had taken JoJo to be Tom's daughter instead of their niece, but it's a pretty cool twist. Not to mention, it was kind of sweet to see her to be the one to get Sonic's iconic shoes. Pretty clever, I might say, and really wholesome. Then there is Longclaw the Owl, played by Donna J. Fulks. We never get to know much about Longclaw. In fact, we only get to know her less than 4 minutes, and then she's gone from the story. I mean, Sonic gives reference to her, making like a remark of Longclaw's word of advice of just hiding and keep on running, avoiding danger altogether, but on the other hand, I really want to get to know the character herself. This I kind of find it ironic. With around some movies that they made, like the Transformers series or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they tend to focus more on the humans than the main attractions, like the Autobots or the Turtles in this case. But with Sonic the Hedgehog, they focus more on Sonic, and I like that. In the process, then flesh out all the minor characters, which is kind of a little bit disappointing. But hey, maybe in the near future when they make a sequel, they might fix that. Let's talk about Sonic himself. Sonic looks amazing. Not only he looks better with the second and final design, but the way he talks, the way he reacts, the way he looks, not only looks like video game Sonic, but also has so much personality in him. You can see him whenever he's happy, whenever he's sad, whenever he's angry, whenever he's serious, whenever he's scared. You see that expression within his eyes, with his mouth, with his eyebrows, everything, even his ears. I'm a little bit upset that movie Sonic has a lot more personality than video game counterpart Sonic. But I digress. Yeah, Sonic doesn't exactly look like his video game counterpart, but they work off with what they got, and honestly, I'm okay with how he looks, including the blue arms. I mean, we already have Sonic with blue arms before. I don't get why people are complaining about the blue arms. It's because they don't like how Sonic looks with the blue arms? Is it because they didn't like how they changed the arms blue? What's the big idea here? But regardless at this point, let's mainly talk about Sonic's world. I mean, Green Hills looks amazing. It looks lush. It looks beautiful. It's not this. This is Green Hills, Montana. I'm talking about the other Green Hills. There we go. This is what Green Hills is like in a movie. It looks amazing, and I wish we get to see more of this. But sadly, we're forced into the weird world, which cartoony character in a real world. I always think that they don't clash well together. But in Sonic's case, it's pretty much a-okay. In fact, Sonic looks really realistic in this movie, and which, yeah, he should be, but what I mean is his quills, his fur, everything, it just looks perfect with them. I like that they decided to add in the quills. I mean, in the video game counterpart, you know that he's a hedgehog, but you don't exactly see the quills. In this movie, you see the quills, you see the fur, and I don't get how they are able to do this. That looks hilarious, but seriously, how is this even possible? And here's the thing. The guy that helped redesign Sonic for the second attempt is none other than the legendary Tyson Hess himself. That's right, the guy that did the Mega Comic Book series, the guy that did the Sonic Mania intro, the guy that did the Sonic Mania Adventure series, and the same guy that did Team Sonic Racing Overdrive. Man, this guy's legend, and I gotta say, thank you, man. Thank you so very much. And finally, let's talk about Sonic's speed. I really like how they emphasize on how fast Sonic is, not only with the blur effects and such, but also after images to make multiple Sonics, making references from the games, but also interacting with him, even playing pillow fights against himself. That is kind of a little bit hilarious. And of course, let's not forget about whenever he passes time like over the hedge style. And yes, I said over the hedge, not Quicksilver. People are just saying that Quicksilver did it first, but technically Overhedge did it first. It was a gag, but they did it first, and I'm sticking with it. Sorry about that. When the first time Sonic did it, and it was a gag, it was hilarious. I mean, you get to see Sonic setting up all the scenes to make everybody to get knocked out, but the second part, when things got serious, it got serious. And then we got to talk about Ultra Instinct Sonic. Yes, I made a Dragon Ball Z reference. He has this power, which I guess you could call it electricity that's flowing through him, which probably gives him a lot of speed. But I actually have a theory about that electricity. I think this is coming from him using Chaos Energy. Remember, Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, even Silver were able to transform into Super Sonic because they were using the Chaos Emeralds. Not to mention, Sonic the Hedgehog is the very first video game character to use the Chaos Emeralds to transform into Super Sonic. And Shadow the Hedgehog is able to use the Chaos Energy inside of him to make Chaos Spears or Chaos Blast with or without the Chaos Emeralds. Maybe, just maybe he has some sort of connections with the Chaos Emeralds, or at least has the Chaos energy inside of him, which allows him to make supersonic speed, or maybe accidentally uses Chaos control without him even noticing it. Maybe that's the case, maybe that's what the film is going with. I don't know, but it's a theory. A film theory! You know what? No, I'm not making that reference. I'm not giving MatPat this satisfaction.
While the movie is not groundbreaking, it's an enjoyable movie. And that's all I want. An enjoyable movie. I don't want anything to be like outstanding or out of this world or something you should never expect to happen, but yet happen. I just want to watch a good movie. And Sonic the Hedgehog movie is the best movie I've ever seen from a video game series thus far. Does it have its own problems? Yes, it has its own problems. Like I said, the story is a little bit short, and I wish they could have lengthened the film a little bit longer so we can delve deeper into the movie. And some of the jokes can be hits or misses. And flossing. I get that he's a kid, and kids tend to do stuff like that, but seriously, do we really need the flossing or the dabbing or anything like that? What is it with movies that grabs the IPs and made like cringy movements with it, like the dab or the floss or anything like that. At least the Eggman dance is actually enjoyable to watch. Good on you, Jim Carrey. Good on you. But regardless, I would love to see a sequel of this one. I wouldn't mind blazing back into the movie theaters if they ever release it. Well, if they're still releasing it in movie theaters. So, what do you think about the film? Do you like it or do you not? Place your comments down below. This is Jeremiah saying stay jamtastic and have yourself a ribbit time. Bye everyone, take care. Excelsior!